Start of the second half, and the umpire tosses the ball up. Gardner goes up and slaps it down. Norris dragged to the deck. He's going to get a free kick, and the umpires probably will try and grab this game early in the second half.
Well, Dennis, one thing I can tell you, Tony Modra is not out on the field. Clive Waterhouse has gone down to full forward. No Tony Modra on the ground.
Norris goes out wide and finds Pavlich starting on the half-forward line as he finished the second term. Adrian Barrich has been down to the rooms. We'll get word from Adrian just after this ball goes into the 50.
He's waiting for a lead from Waterhouse here.
It goes in that direction. McManus behind. Waterhouse was up. Ship in front. Grabs it. The high ball. It floats down towards the pocket. Coming back McManus. Reaching over the top Williams. He's been most impressive. Bootsma. The hurried kick. It's very close. Wait on this. It's a behind. Didn't miss by much. Adrian?
Dennis, fair bit of news down here. Michael Gardner has actually been reported for that scuffle at the beginning of the game with Matthew Pavlich. Heath Black is injured and looks like not playing any further part in the game. And Tony Modra as well, sensationally injured. He's hurt his hand and looks like he'll be benched for the rest of the game. So a few problems for the Dockers.
I think Kickett's on the bench too, isn't he, Adrian?
He's lucky he didn't hurt his hand as well. It goes towards the outer side, and the mark is juggled out there by Gardner. He plays on. Kicks towards midfield and Embley. Reaching over the top, Prescott. Roving the pack, Cousins. Taken front on, got the hand pass away there. Banfield in trouble, twisting. Gets the hand pass to Pitamatira. Pitamatira from half back. Looking for Cousins, going back is McManus. Still not out of reach this one for the Dockers. Hazelby, forward of the wing. Kicks inside the 50. Coops and/or Waterhouse, and Waterhouse made a late decision. And Coops has taken the mark. Waterhouse was storming up on the lead, then opted out. What's that? Ship takes the mark directly in front. Well,
and again,
Dockers make it exciting. Down to Waterhouse. And it's a behind. Well, that is dreadful. That is dreadful. Coops should have gone back and kicked the ball. I don't mean to Ship, but at goal.
The old sort of story, if you're within range and it's not too much of a hard set shot, yes, you should take the kick, because the more times basically you're going to use the ball up, the more chances you're going to have of turning it over and making a mistake. And that's exactly what we saw then. For the Dockers to get back into this game, they need more players, an even spread of players getting the ball. The Eagles had 23 more possessions that first half, which accounts for one more player out there.
Pitamatira in short to Banfield. That sort of football, that lead up to the behind, can really make a team feel ill. As the kick comes in towards midfield, Prescott, hand on the shoulder. A free kick to Wembley. Liked his game today.
Tell what the Eagles have been very good is bringing it up through the corridor. They've persisted in doing that because we all know it's the quickest way at home.
Reed towards half forward, coming back and taking a good defensive mark. Dodd showing a bit of courage there. Men on. One of them is very wide. That's Ship, and he's got it now. Kemp coming to him. So Ship right on the wing. The margin is 30 points. Kicks inside the 50. Coops comes in a long searching lead up. Couldn't hang on. The crumb falls to Fletcher. Fletcher kicks back towards midfield. His namesake was camped under that one. This is Jones getting the ball. Swings it out wide. Kemp off a step down towards half forward. Philip Matera. Here's trouble for the Dockers. Well, not too much harm done there. It bounces out of bounds.
There's a couple of other changes. I said before the game, Philip Matera needed to be here, kept quiet. He got 4 goals played on Clement. Walker's now gone on to him, and Clement has gone over to pick up Chad Morrison.
Boundary throw in. Gardner worked out of it by Michael, and it's going to be a free kick to Gardner.
I reckon he's been good other than that his first few punches. He's been very good today, Michael Gardner.
It wasn't bad there either. He just couldn't find range. Prescott gives it across to Fletcher. Fletcher swings it out wide. Sinclair leads in the race. Reed bearing down. The bounce accommodated Reed. Tried to be slick. The hand pass, though, ricochets off the oncoming man, Bandy. Picked up, though, by Chambers, who swings it back towards the middle. And it's going to be a free kick to be taken there by Haynes. There's a Casey Green. It's Green. And now 50 metres.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I'd like to have another look. There was nothing in that. No, he's given it for that. Yes, yeah. Well, that was. He probably didn't need to go to the ground there. Again, as I said, the Eagles continually keep bringing the ball back through the centre. And as long as you're hitting your targets, that's okay. It's when you go through the centre and you miss them, or you kick to a contest and the ball's rebounded, that's when it's not the right decision. And this will hurt. This will hurt the Dockers very early in this quarter.
Yes, a body blow. Casey Green spent the first half on the bench. We like what we've seen of him this season. Jankovic having plenty to say to McManus. Pavlich is in there as well, but Djakovic doesn't care who he says it to. All eyes, well, most of them, on Green. He'll kick from about 25 metres out. The Dock is careless at the other end, and Green gets the goal.
And certainly not the start that Fremantle wanted. But the Eagles, again, have been very efficient when they've been going forward. They went in 24 times for 15 scoring shots in the first half. The Dockers 28 for 8. So they just had a lot better efficiency. And part of that has been able to find their targets up forward. Most of their goals have come from a lot of set shots. And that makes it a lot easier.
Well, the Dock is doing a lot of talking. They'd be better off doing a lot of playing. Here's Kemp, comes away, gets the ball down towards half forward. Awkward bouncing ball for Cousins. Wore in the mush. Bounces back towards Green, across to Banfield, kicks towards half forward. Missing it, McManus, taken by Philip Matera. Great U-turn, blistering pace, has the bounce, straightens up. He's got 5. How about that? Whoa!
Well, we're a long way from home, Dennis, but I'm going to make the statement now. If Fremantle can come back from here, I reckon they've done a fantastic job, because at the moment now, and after that goal from Philip Matera, which was just absolutely inspirational, I would find it very difficult, because I actually think the teamwork of the West Coast Eagles today has been absolutely first class. I said they just had an even spread of players around the ground who were prepared to work hard for their players, and Fremantle have just been leaving up to too few players to help out. He has just been on fire today.
So the Eagles lead by 7 straight goals. Gardner comes hard, knocks it down, taken by Fletcher to Bootsma. Bootsma driving kick down towards half forward. Pavlich battles with Djakovic, falls behind them. Up comes McIntosh, knocks it forward. Peter Matera, Reid combines with McIntosh. McIntosh chips it out wide. Fletcher stretches, takes the ball forward of half back, kicks it up towards the wing. Gardner's got it now. Michael Gardner. The Eagles looking irresistible at the moment. He kicks down towards the attacking 50. McManus hit the ground running to Dodd. Goes out wide to Ship. Ship running it up towards the wing then. Somebody offering the long lead. Hazelby is going back. With him is Banfield. Banfield controls it nicely, heads for the boundary line and gets it out. And the Dockers that time, a couple of them, in fact I think 3, all leading to the same spot.
Then some interchange news here. Kickett and Brown are on the bench for the Dockers. Modra and Black are definitely injured. Modra has a hand injury, Black a back injury. And Philip Matera with that goal is now the Eagles' leading goal kicker and will win the goal kicking award.
There goes the kick from Coops. Finds Clive. Waterhouse almost directly in front. Anything is possible, but would expect him to have a shot.
Without Tony Modra out there, now the Fremantle really came into this game probably with a better forward line structure, but he just hasn't had a lot of help from guys like Coops, who's been very well held today by Williams. Has done a fantastic job on him. They tried Brown up there for a little while, that didn't work.
Going at his 3rd, his 48th of the season, and I think he likes it off the boot. He does. No. Well, Clive is remonstrating now with the central umpire. He thought it was a goal, going on his reaction.
I think you might find by the reaction of the crowd too, I think that's the majority of the West Coast Eagles fans down there. Because it is a Dockers home ground.
What were they doing?
They were cheering.
Oh, okay. Clive was complaining about that as the ball comes up to Green, to Fletcher. Fletcher from half back, kicks towards midfield. Too much carry for Embley, taken by Michael. Nicely done. Kicks inside the 50. Well, Djakovic wanted it most, no question there. Came at it full-chested. Djakovic kicks towards the outer side, and Gardner, the defensive side of the wing, 11-6, plays 4-7. Gardner wasting no time, intended for Chambers, will need to go. Over the top, Fuse to hit him hard. This is Cousins, cleverly around the corner to Glass. Glass inside the 50. Could have gone by hand to Philip Matera, kicked it down towards the pocket. Well played by Clement. Knocked it away from Morrison, and for the Dockers, that was a very good result.
Yeah, young Glass certainly could have done a little bit better with that decision. Certainly with his pass to the ball, as you said, he could have used up the dangerous Philip Matera, because basically give the ball to Matera and he's bound to get a goal.
Boundary throw in. Gardner behind him. Michael falls to Banfield, smothered off the boot by McManus. Well done by Banfield to slap it across to White, to Gardner. Gardner's kick back towards the kick-off line. Clement somehow comes away with a footy. Morrison appealing that he took the mark. Clement heads for the boundary line and finds it.
Just wondering whether it's worth moving Daniel Bandy up the ground, because so far today the Eagles have done it very well. They've kept him down at the full back line and he hasn't been anywhere near as dangerous. Perhaps they've just got to bite the bullet and put him at centre-half back.
Thrown in, Michael finds the bouncing ball but then knocks it out the back to Banfield. Chambers comes away, goes towards the middle, low down. Cousins claims the mark, cocked one fair in the back there. The kick meantime from Glass down towards the pocket. Wasn't a free, but he got a knee in the back, did Cousins. It hurt him. Goes to the goal line, Bandy steps around Embley. Short passes the ball to Fuster, can go over the top, and he does. Now Dodd can take it and go around the outer side. It's 2-on-1 up towards the wing. Shipp is one of the two. He's got it hard against the boundary line. Shipp kicks down towards the 50. Waterhouse comes on the lead, almost the big grab too. Spills to Fletcher, coming through his Coops. He's 60 metres from goal. Coops looks across the ground. Now Cook will gather it inside the 50. Coming at him hard is Fletcher. Cook around the body. It bounces obligingly for Hazelby. Hazelby's got skill. That's the difference. The finish. He spotted the man, took his time, and made sure the kick worked.
And I think Clive just may be too nimble for Ashley McIntosh. McIntosh is always going to outdo Clive in the air, but on the ground and for fitness, I would have to say Clive would have him on that occasion. Of course, Clive plays a little bit further up the ground than what Ashley does. And I think if he probably gets this one or 1 or 2 goals in this quarter, you'd have to look at probably putting someone a little bit more nimble on him.
So Waterhouse.
They need this one.
Yeah, 25 metres out. Has put it through. He's got 3.
Well, a handy one, but they do it very, very hard. They take a lot of possessions to get their goals, Fremantle. That can sometimes be their problem. And we saw in that passage of play, they 2 players who rely on a lot, and that's Troy Cook and Paul Hazelby. It's been an interesting battle with both Hazelby and Banfield. They both had 14 disposals. That was the 15th for Hazelby. And Cook's been reasonably well held by young Chad Fletcher.
I have a feeling of deja vu. This game reminds me very much of the first Western Derby last season. Remember, the Fremantle Dockers finished all over the top of the West Coast Eagles, but just failed, fell less than a goal short. Can they do it again this afternoon? Because they do have the legs. Coops proving that, storming through. Can he control it? No, he can't. He left it behind. Jakovic dives on top of it, slaps it towards the boundary line, taken by Williams. Williams sweeping hand pass around the boundary line, crashing in with Shipp, kept it alive, knocked it to Hazelby. It was charged down by Williams, and it ricochets across the boundary line. Hazelby 17 possessions. Started slowly, but has improved the longer it's gone. I think Glass off the ground because of that last botched move forward. And the kick was poor after the hand pass was on to a man close, so neither thing worked for him, and he's watching. There's Metropolis, another watcher at the moment.
He's got a cork thigh as well, Dan. That's the reason he's there. Munro's there as well, and Haynes and Glass. And if you're looking for another matchup for Waterhouse, I guess it's only really Chad Morrison now, Maney, or maybe Williams.
Well, Williams has been very good today.
There's Hazelby, tracked by Banfield, slips the hand pass away. McManus deep in the pocket, pulls it back, slides across the face. Jakovic and Pavlich. Oh, one of the marks of the season by Pavlich. That was a very clever mark. That ball just stuck.
Well, it was a case of the young veteran, young apprentice, I should say, against the younger veteran. In that case, young Pavlich has come out on tops. Difficult angle. He'll probably need to come around a little bit.
That was a wonderful mark. Kept his eye on the footy against quality opposition and took it one grab. Runs around now. Very important kick, this one. It's bending back. I think he likes it. The Dockers aren't done yet.
No, well, they've kicked their last 2 goals in a row now. And in football, that sort of, you put that down to a bit of a run on. And sides get more than 2 goals in a row. So the Eagles now have to clamp down. Because if you've pointed out, Dennis, they probably are the younger side and a fitter side than what the Eagles are. The Eagles have got some very experienced players who've had a very long season, have had to carry them. But this was just pure class there by young Pavlich. And as I said, he really did need to come around and just open up his angle a little bit.
10.5 minutes till three-quarter time. Can the Dockers get the next goal? The Eagles have been the masters so far as the hand pass comes out from Michael, intended for Hazelby. Down goes Coops. On his knees, Jones could have been pushed in the back. They go in willingly. Banfield got it across to Fletcher. Williams kicks it around the outer side. Coming up to meet it. Clementi slipped over. It stays in. Falling to the ground. Morrison got it to Chambers, but I think it's a call for a throw on the outer side against Morrison. I'd like to see that again. He improvised very well, did Morrison. Watch this. Bad luck for Clement. Oh, even on the replay. What do you think? Umpire Mainwaring.
I actually wasn't. I'm just watching it. This man here, because they've made the move. Daniel Bandy has come out of fullback. They've sent him forward. Brown's now going to pick up Mitchell White at fullback.
Bandy kicks into Chambers, standing the mark, and the ball goes across the boundary line. The Dockers have a death wish.
And I reckon Damien Drum's just sort of sensed he reckons they got a bit of a run on here, and Bandy's been wasted down at fullback. Let's get him down into the plate and utilise his run.
Boundary throw in on the outer side. Gardner, Hazelby. They're getting busy around the packs though. High ball. Peter Matera has to wait. Coming back hard was Ship. Coming up the ground, Waterhouse. Ship the long hand pass. Bandy can run into an open goal. The Dockers have got the last three.
Well, I made a statement to you earlier on in this quarter when the Eagles started to get away from the Dennis. I said, I said if Fremantle will come back from here, they'll be doing very well. Now, there's still a fair way behind them. I mean, they're 23 points behind, so it's still 3 or 4 goals. But I said Daniel Bandy was being wasted down there in the full back line. Daniel Drum can sense they've got this run on at the moment. Let's get him out of there and utilise him. I think he sits 4th in their leading goal kickers this year. He's already kicked 13 coming into this game. So there we go.
Now it's getting personal for you, isn't it? Say these things. Tossed up in the middle. Gardner and Michael. Gardner knocks it down. Again, they'll clear the centre. Interesting if Chris can grab the figures on those as McManus comes out wide and Ship takes the mark.
4-1, Dennis, so the Dockers are clearly winning that battle.
You are a genius. At your fingertips. Ship towards the middle. In from the side, Morrison. Pavlich, the big leap over the top. Cousins. Can he control it? Cousins, nicely done. Slips away. The kick very high. Close to the boundary line. How will it bounce? Nicely for Gardner. Taken by Fuster. What a strong tackle. The big men. Picked up out there by Michael. Tries to get it around the boundary line. It's out of bounds on the full.
And not only are they winning it inside the centre square, they're also getting it into their 50-metre zone 10 times to the Eagles' 5. So they're doing all the attacking.
Cousins, good kick. Turnbull on the lead. He's got it on the wing. 72 plays 49. Turnbull down towards half forward. Fletcher. The Dockers Fletcher. Takes the mark.
Gardner's off. On goes Haynes.
Michael has it. Plays on by hand. Walker on the wing. Good chase from Philip Matera. Pavlich, who's been very good, put down by McIntosh after being pushed in the back. Pavlich slow to get up. Banfield goes after it. Banfield upended. Kept his cool. Got it to Morrison. Morrison drives around the outer side.
Oh,
he marked it.
whoa.
I was going to say surely a free kick.
Yeah.
But Jones was a stepladder. Fletcher took the mark. Comes back to Bandy. Bandy with a runner on towards the wing. Puts it up for Ship, who's been busy. Ship comes back. Glass was there. Peter Matera comes across though. Paddles it to his own advantage. Embley the shepherd. The kick from Peter Matera releases Haynes. His finish not always good. What will he do this time? Slides it across the face. It wasn't a bad miss, but they're the sort of goals you've got to get the Dockers out of this contest.
It's amazing as a player, you're in that situation, you've got the time to take it, and you know the pressure is on. Let's just take a quick look at Fletcher. This really was a sensational mark, and I agree with you. I thought it was going to be a free kick at the start. And for a small bloke, he's got to be one of the best marks for a small fella. And here's his other situation.
Well, that certainly was a push in the back by Jakovic.
And pushed him straight into Ashley McIntosh.
And that is a hurtful blow as far as the Dockers are concerned, because Pavlich has been very good. They battle on though. Dodd out of the congestion. Hurried kick up towards the wing. Coops was up. Couldn't complete the mark. Coming through was Sinclair. Gets it away to McManus. Running past is Hazelby. Hazelby can bounce. Takes it down towards the 50. The bounce wasn't particularly good, though. Gave Djakovic a bit of the ball. Coming up Waterhouse. Hazelby comes again. Brilliantly done by Peter Matera. Smothered the hand pass. Picked up by Williams. McIntosh. Oh, wonderful. Backhands it down to the voice supplied by Djakovic. And Djakovic comes away. The old heads. Cousins back to Djakovic. Djakovic confronted. Pushed off the kick. Wanders to centre-half forward. Taken by Michael. Rebound opportunity for the Dockers. Well done by young Glass. He slapped it their way. Sliding in down there, Fletcher. Long hand pass out wide. Picked up by Ship to McManus. McManus just outside the 50. That's trying to be too clever. That's holding the ball. Needed a kick. Well done by the Eagles. And what about McIntosh moments ago? Backhanding it down to Djakovic. Terrific stuff.
You couldn't say enough really about the experience there, but I know Sean McManus has got caught here, but players from both sides here were probably guilty of overusing the ball and not getting rid of it when they should have.
Coops over the ball, or was it Michael? Spinning through there was Morrison. Now a chance on the outer side for Cousins. Used it well. This is Haynes. Haynes kicks towards the attacking 50. Mitchell White's built the mark. Bit of recovery. Runner inside. Gets it to Embley. Here's a great chance for the Eagles. They've met every challenge. Embley goes in and kicks the goal.
Well, that was a pretty exciting piece of passage. I reckon that last 3 or 4 minutes from both sides, they really can sort of take a bit of the pat on the back because they have just thrown absolutely everything at it. And eventually it was just going to be which side could get on top of the other, and the other one was going to give in. And in the end, it was probably the support of the Eagles that really went out. And I've probably said it a couple of times where it just had a more even spread of players prepared to do the little things.
Great poise from the West Coast Eagles. For so long in the 90s, the masters of poise and doing the right thing under pressure. Here's Jones alongside the centre circle towards half forward. Kemp drifting in, left the ball behind, comes back to Fletcher. Fletcher long down towards full forward. Brown will need to go, got a fist on it. Djakovic goes after it. Coming across his bow there was Sinclair. Sinclair taken high, he'll get the free kick. He did put the head down. Nothing wrong with Djakovic right there. He was going at it. Sinclair put his head low. Watch it again. There was no doubting it's a free kick.
Yeah, but there was certainly nothing either player could do. The clash was always going to happen.
Sinclair has injured that right hand. Sinclair did the unexpected. That was the problem for Djakovic. Now a bounce on the wing. And that Golden Glover, Dale Kickett is back in.
Sinclair dislocated his finger in that collision. He's just that gruesome scene at the moment, fixing his finger up, straightening it up.
Well, if you've got Black, Modra, and I think it's
Pavlich.
Sinclair on the bench now. They haven't got many reserves.
Jones clatters in. Cook left without it. Jones dragged away from the ball. Kemp did brilliantly to Cousins. Cousins flooding it towards half forward. Michael goes up and juggles the mark.
Very good mark there.
Just over 5 minutes till three-quarter time. Certainly the Dockers are running, I think, a bit better than the Eagles as the ball goes towards the outer side. Ship comes up to meet it. Again, support. He chips it down towards half forward and Clement. Now Clement thought about going. He's put in 5 goals in the Western Derby. His 7th back in '98. Kicks inside the 50. Waterhouse.
Certainly the run of the Dockers and their players prepared to push forward through the lines. It's a lot better than the Eagles at the moment.
Well, Fremantle haven't been able to win a game after trailing at half-time this season. Can they do it this afternoon? They're still coming at the West Coast Eagles, and so far the West Coast Eagles able to put down every challenge.
A couple of times now, Clive's been able to get away from Ashley McIntosh. McIntosh was certainly better suited to Tony Modra.
Strutting the green stage, it's Clive Waterhouse. Such an important kick. That will be inspirational. He's got 4. Oh, big kick, Clive.
Yes, well, it's almost worked in their favour having Tony Modra come off the ground because unfortunately Tony really wasn't contributing a lot to the game and Ashley McIntosh had completely taken him out of it. And since then, with Metropolis going off, they've actually been forced to put McIntosh over onto Waterhouse, and he's kicked I think 2 in this quarter.
Yep.
So he's certainly done better.
People say Clive Waterhouse is an unconventional footballer. I think he plays conventional football in an unconventional side, if that makes sense. As Fletcher kicks it down towards half-forward, Coops in front, Williams close to the boundary line. Goes looking for Reed. It needs to stay in for the Eagles, and it does. Reed's got it, looks back towards the middle. Well done, finds Fletcher. Fletcher, the sweeping hand pass out wide, taken by Jones. Jones about 75 metres out, goes for distance. Down there is Philip Matera battling with Walker. It bounces at right angles and goes through for a behind. And no decision from the umpire in the foreground, Stephen Hanley. Well,
had to go one or the other way, didn't it?
It appeared something happened down there. Watch it again. Strange bounce, but there was wrestling ahead of that bounce, and the umpire simply let them play. 12-8, 8-7. Oh, Clement goes very close again. If they called one, he's doing it just about every time. Fuster couldn't complete the mark. It's out of bounds. And the umpire, I think, going across and just having a word to Clement again. Well, either you're off or you're not in terms of that line.
Glenn Jakovic has now come to pick up Daniel Bandy, and they're moving all over the ground, so Jakovic having to cover some ground now.
Turnbull, roundhouse left, not out of place this afternoon. Morrison's kick missed out there by Williams, feeds it back to Peter Matera. An old head across half-back, brilliantly done by Jakovic. Feigned the hand pass. That should be a relayed free kick. He was pushed down. Nothing doing. Kemp brilliantly tackled by Dodd. Dodd goes after it close to the boundary line, kept it alive. Fuster with some time, kicks it around the outer side, getting across, hustling across. Morrison, it ricochets off his body, and we'll have a throw in.
Dan, news from the Dockers casualty ward down here. Matthew Pavlich has mild concussion. Tony Modric, that hand injury. Heath Black, a back injury. And Jess Sinclair's just left the ground to have his dislocated finger looked at.
So they've got nobody to come back on, really, then, Adrian?
Not at the moment, no.
Close to the boundary line. Reed, tackle taken down by Fletcher. Emerging with it, Banfield almost handed it across to Kemp. Picked up by Fletcher, who'll have another crack. Going nowhere. And the ball up. 12-8, 8-7. 2.5 minutes to three-quarter time. What the Dockers need is the next goal, and they're anxious to get Pavlich back on the ground because he was doing very well for them across half forward.
Well, the Eagles just want to try and weather the storm at the moment. They'll be happy going in with a 25-point lead.
We're told mild concussion for Pavlich. Mild concussion is when it's somebody else. Cousins gets a hand pass. Jones kicks it down towards half forward. Can the Eagles muster a goal here? It's a race. White is coming up. Cook just crashes into White. White goes down and he's hurt. The hand pass comes from Brown across to McManus towards the outer side, and Fuster's away. The former Eagle kicks over the wing. McIntosh went to ground. Brilliantly done by Reed. Spins out of trouble. Kicks the ball back towards half forward. Turnbull gets up high. Going after it, Dodd. Clattering in there was Fuster. Dodd dives on top of it. Whistle. And the ball out.
He's in a lot of trouble, Mitchell White. Now, and I reckon he's grabbed his knee at the end. I'd like to have a look why he's grabbed his knee, because it was his right knee, and probably that's just where Troy Cook has hit him. And if you're wondering why the ball was on its own for a while and two players met like that, basically they had three players each side on the full back line. So there was no one at all inside the 50-metre zone. They were all back there. Let's take a look at this.
Well, Cook has gone beyond the ball to get White. Although
I don't know why he's grabbing his knee.
It's an interesting one all round, isn't it? Certainly the elbow was down, but the ball virtually at his feet as they made contact. And Cook made a decision about 10 metres out. The ball was secondary.
And just while we're waiting, what's happening so waiting for Mitchell White to be brought off. They just often sides will get the players from their main areas. They'll just group up and they'll go over there and just have a chat about the situation. From the Eagles' point of view, they'll be just saying, let's just relax, calm down. We just need to weather the storm now. Fremantle will be saying, we need another goal before three-quarter time. We feel we're on top of them, and if we can get another goal, they will go in a little bit frightened and unsure whether that's a big enough lead. There's only two players who aren't in the group, and that's Philip Matera and Chad Morrison. They're just standing at the in between centre forward and full forward. They've decided never to chat on themselves.
It's quite odd, isn't it? The rest of the Eagles together, all the Dockers together. Well, a couple of huddles have formed, but certainly Not as little as 2.
There we go. You've got Dockers in the front here, then the Eagles, then Eagles and then Dockers, and the two fellas way down the back there on their own. And for it to take so long, there has got to be some concern, Dennis. It's Dr. Rod Moore out there for the West Coast Eagles.
Such a quality young man as Mitchell White. He's battled with injury over the last couple of seasons.
It's his 150th game too, Den, so how's that for irony? And Daniel Metropolis has gone on to replace him.
There's plenty of blokes I wouldn't like to run into in the AFL. Troy Cook is one of them. It would be like a bag of wrought iron. You just know some players are hard, and he's one of them.
Besides him being very physical in that area, he's also very good in the tackling department. He's actually the 5th best in the league. Actually, they're very good, the Dockers, when it comes to tackling. They're rated 4th.
It is funny, though, Chris, some players are just hard and others aren't.
Byron Pickett's a classic example.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember running into him up at the SCG last year, my first game back, and it seriously felt like hitting a wall.
Yes.
It was just,
Gets your attention,
and
doesn't it?
when I was smiling, it wasn't because I was happy to see him, it was just I was just trying to hide my pain of how much I was in there. It's,
I remember in my time a guy called John Wynn was like that. All points and angles and everything. No matter how you ran into him, it really hurt. And Troy Cook is from that school, but we certainly hope Mitchell White's okay. Might
pull an old West Perth boy. There wasn't much of him, but he was pretty hard. Dean Laidley.
Yes.
Here's another one.
Yes. He was a hard man. So Mitchell White, his day is done. And his dugouts now littered with injured players. He doesn't look well.
Jez Sinclair's back from the rooms too, Den, as an update on the Dockers. He's had his finger straightened and he can play again.
And a Dockers fan having a bit to say there. He needs to get back and...
There's the property steward, Hank Glody. I tell you what, if that supporter's got something to say...
Well, that's outrageous. The Docker fan should get the heck out of there. The umpire just waiting. He can't bounce the ball, and he's making that point until the stretcher has left the ground. Now, they put the stretcher down near the interchange gates, and that's not good enough. The stretcher actually has to be taken from the arena.
You like seeing physical clashes, but when a player hurt and is brought off, it doesn't matter who you barrack for. As far as I'm concerned, you don't clap or boo them.
Den, this is amazing.
I don't think it's part of football.
Amazing down here, Den. They won't let the game restart, the umpires, until the stretcher is fully off the ground.
Yeah, that's the point I was making, Barry. It's got to be off the arena, doesn't it?
Yes, and so that's why this long delay. Finally, White has been taken off the stretcher and sitting on the stairs, and that was the reason for the huge delay.
Fuster knocked it down.
Dale Kickett and Philip Reid are just going hell for leather down in the back line. They are just throwing punches left, right and centre.
Oh, it's a main event. The emergency umpire is dashing out to this one. Now, McIntosh has been put down by Michael, but that was something. I think Dale Kickett has decided this could be a career-ending match. He may not want to go on next year.
Philip Reid's going to have to come off with the blood rule.
For all of that, it's going to be a Dockers freeze. Apologies to Dale Kickett. How did the umpires work that out? But if they have, apologies to Dale Kickett. That left eye is closed to Philip Reid's, but they were haymakers from both players, and how they can sort this out, the umpires, I've got no idea. How do they know what happened first? Well, maybe they saw it. Maybe they were lucky enough to see it, because these two did have a simmering history from early on, so it could have been good umpiring.
Let me tell you, Dale Kickett, it doesn't matter who you barrack for, he's lucky to be taking a free kick, because there's no way. They'll both just at each other, and one player should not have come out with a free kick in that instant.
I am preempting his retirement, but he's played like a man who doesn't intend to be back next year. He has thrown a lot of punches today.
It's cost a zoo fighting today, because I'll tell you what, some of these guys may have watched the fight before they came.
He's been a wonderful player, Dale Kickett, but today on a very short fuse. He kicks inside the 50. Big pack at the drop, off hands, wide of the pack, taken by Haynes. Haynes under pressure, kicks it out to two Dockers. Fuster needs to keep it in, succeeds. Hard against the boundary line. Brendan Fuster still going, gets it across to Clement. 45 seconds remaining in the term. The margin 25 points. Waterhouse across the body, going, and he's picked, and he's got it. Oh, Clive, you're a genius.
Well, I tell you what, this has had absolutely everything in this game. And there's one man who can get the Dockers back into this game. It's Clive Waterhouse, and they will now go in absolutely pumped up How Brendan Fuster got out of that situation where he had 3 Eagles on 1, I'll never know. But you could actually put the goal down to him, because he's the reason the ball ended up in Clyde's hands. And Clyde is just too nimble for Ashley McIntosh.
So how about this? 19 points the difference. Seconds out from three-quarter time. And still the hearts are pumping for the Dockers. Cook has got it. Kicks it out wide. Clement can take the mark. There's still time for another score. James Clement with Bandy running into open space. That's a terrible kick to Bandy. McIntosh comes across, got a hand on it, fell at his feet. Coops charges in. Hand passes away to Ship. 10 seconds to go. Ship goes short to Bandy, and Bandy's marked about 25-30 metres out. And I think he'll kick after the siren, Daniel Bandy. And how important will this kick be?
I reckon this is the most important kick he's ever taken in his football career.
Not in the history of the football club.
Not in the history of the football club, but I think in the history...
I want you to say that.
I think in the history of his career, I think this is a very, very important shot on goal.
It's an important kick, this one. Daniel Bandy then. We're right behind him. It's out to the right. It stayed out to the right. Life is like that. Daniel Bandy can't believe it. But the margin is just 18 points at three-quarter time, and what a stirring term it was in so many ways. At the start, it was all the West Coast Eagles. The Dockers fought back, then the pair of them fought. We saw Kickett and Reed stand up to each other 100 metres from the ball and let them fly. Three-quarter time, the 12th Western Derby. There's spring in the step of both coaches. 12-8 plays 9-8, anyone's game. The last quarter in the 12th Western Derby. The margin is 18 points. The breeze not a factor. Michael goes up, knocks it down. Jones ran into a dead end. They'll do it again.
Just quickly, Dennis, Daniel Metropolis has been shifted back onto Clive Waterhouse. Ashley McIntosh has now gone down to full forward for the West Coast Eagles, playing on Brown.
Throwing up. Michael deflects it down, intended for Cook. He's over the ball. It's not coming out, so another ball up.
Then joining Michael Gardner in the book, as being reported, is Dale Kickett and Philip Reed for wrestling.
For wrestling. Expect more. Watch this page. There goes Cousins down towards half forward. Over the top, Clement knocked it away. Getting back is Walker. Almost stumbled. Kept his composure. Gets it to Cook. Cook at right half back. It was interesting. Boos for Cook now, but a lot of boos too for Jakovic at three-quarter time. Rear at Subiaco Oval. Kickett goes up, takes the mark, gets it away. Prescott on the burst. Kicks it down towards half forward. Up comes the leading player, Bandy. Runs free at the back. Coops will get back. Can he snap a goal? He can. 12 points the difference.
We've got a game of football on our hands, and boy, to get off to a start like that, they've got the crowd behind them, they've got the legs behind them, because I think they've certainly got the leg speed and perhaps the fitness. Just looking over around the oval at the moment, a lot of the Eagles players are just bending over a little bit, taking in some air. And they've been very, very physical, the Fremantle Dockers, as have both sides. But the dice just seems to be rolling for them at the moment.
This season, the Eagles are perfect when they lead at three-quarter time. They've won 6 out of 6. They're getting tested right here. Won by Michael, taken by Dodd. Scrambles it down towards half forward. Coops is in front. Could have almost got a free there. He's going to get one. Plays on immediately. Jams it well inside the 50. Bandy was up. Had it knocked away by Jakovic. Down goes Ship. Loose ball jarred out of there eventually. Now a chance for Dodd. Stands off the pack. Kicks it down towards full forward. It floats towards the pocket. Takes a Hazelby bounce. Hazelby. How did he get out of there? Well, he didn't. He was across the line. It was still clever. Boundary throw in.
Let's take a look at this. Just an unkind bounce there for Drew Banfield. There it is. That's the reason why. He just put the ball out. Oh.
Running into an open goal after the boundary throw in. Ship kicks the goal. 6 points the difference.
You make some statements, sometimes they come back to haunt you, and let me tell you.
Don't be haunted yet.
I think it might be haunted. They're looking very dangerous now. They've done all the attacking in this first couple of minutes, and they've really just carried on from their third quarter, because they went inside their 50 3 or 4 more times than the Eagles in that quarter. And Andrew Shipp, who's had an indifferent year, haven't seen a lot of him. He's probably playing a little bit for his future.
Tossed up again. Michael and Gardner go at it. Kemp falling to the ground. Hand passes out wide. Fletcher tracks it. Socket away by Cousins. Cousins goes out towards the wing. Well played. Cousins across the body. Bootsma read it brilliantly. He's been very handy this afternoon. Came up to take the mark off his step. Norrish. They're running so much better at the moment. Across the ground to Cook. What can the Eagles muster? Cook. Well, it was an errant bounce. Kemp almost got the footy. Taken by Cook, though. It affected the kick. He hooks it down towards half forward. Socket off the ground there by Embley out towards the boundary. In fact, it was Williams. And the ball goes across. Well, Cook trying to bounce it. Certainly didn't bounce it effectively. And that hurt the Dockers, who had a clean run down towards their 50 had he controlled the footy. Thrown in. Michael doing pretty well against Gardner, who hasn't played a lot of football. Hazelby trying to get away. Bit lucky. Got it across towards Kickett. Kickett's ball goes down towards the pocket. Out of bounds on the full. Free kick to the West Coast Eagles. 12-8 plays 11-8.
The Eagles could do with a lift from Ben Cousins and Dean Kemp. Kemp being very well held today by Jason Norrish. And Cousins, he's been in there trying.
Williams, long kick around the outer side. Embley up in front. Jones, who's been handy, close to the boundary line, kicks towards half forward. That's a good grab by Turnbull in front of Fuster. So Turnbull's got this one down towards right half forward.
The other midfielder we haven't seen a lot of those from the Fremantle Dockers, and that's Fletcher. He's been pretty quiet today.
Turnbull sets it up. McIntosh to the forward line. Brown gets a timely fist on it. Loose ball at half forward. Green falling to the ground. McManus. Hand passes wide. Fuster close to the line with some time. He's agile for a big man, Brendan Fuster. Now he's got a real problem. Hand passes sold Brown into trouble. That was terrible. Brown goes down. It comes back to Fuster. The best they can hope for is a ball up here. They've made a terrible botch of that, Fremantle, and they're very lucky. Fuster, what was he thinking? Probably about 20 metres before he made that decision to hand pass. He should have taken the ball towards the boundary.
If in doubt, get it out of the danger area, go long. As you said, the boundary line was over to the right-hand side there. You should just put it on his boot. Now the Eagles with an opportunity to score.
Turnbull pushed out of it by Michael. Michael kicks back towards midfield. It pitches about 60 metres out from their goal. That's the Eagles. Kick it, tries to hook it down. Gardner was in there momentarily. Cousins tried to clear a path. It comes across to Williams. Williams a good kick. Fletcher with a chance. Can he control it? Fletcher running down towards the pocket. Chad Fletcher, well done. He's kicked a wonderful goal. Brilliant stuff.
That was pretty inspirational from the young fella there. He was under a lot of pressure. And if I can just put myself in his position, and if you're running in for a goal in a game like this thinking, I need this, my teammates are looking at me right now, the whole crowd's looking at me, I know I'm under some pressure. And for a young fella who's just gone in leaps and bounds in the last 6 weeks, on a very difficult angle, on his left foot, so probably the wrong foot to be kicking, that is just a sensational goal.
13-8 plays 11-8. The game needed that goal. The Dockers with a challenge now then as Dodd kicks towards half forward. It carries Williams. Out comes Waterhouse. Could have been held by the arm, Waterhouse. He's booted 5. Still he battles after it. Peter Matera spinning through the pack there. Tried to knock it to Cousins. Down goes Jones. Tries to feed it back to Kemp. Well played, Peter Matera. Somehow cleared a path and kicks it towards half forward. Prescott runs onto the ball. Fletcher calling for it on the wing. It comes to Fletcher. McManus is moving for him. They've got plenty of time to set it up. He's looking for Clive. Well played. Getting back Williams. Liked his game. A lot of courage there. There was a Casey Green, I think it might have been on the outer side. It was Green getting back to knock it across the line. Boundary throw in inside the attacking 50 for the Dockers. Michael Waterhouse. Well, he could have got a free there. Nothing doing. And the ball's out of bounds in the pocket. Waterhouse having a lot to say to the umpire, but that seemed clear cut.
Yeah, probably rightly so. I think we'll just take another quick look at this. And
may have been held earlier rather than later, but perhaps the umpire was right. Here's Waterhouse going at his 6th. It bounces out of bounds in the opposite pocket.
the moment what's be going through the Eagles' minds. They'll be thinking, we don't want to lose this. Can we hang on? And the Dockers are going, this is our chance, boys. We've got to grab it.
A terrific performance by the West Coast Eagles. A lot of players have missed a lot of football. Getting through is Kickett. He's kicked the goal. Margin back to 6 points.
Well, it's almost a classic case of being the villain and the hero all in the one game, because Dale Kickett. We've been talking a little bit about whether Dale's been making a decision whether he wants to play on next year, because he has certainly been fired up today, and he's been involved in a couple of scraps and been throwing his arms around. You don't often see him down in the forward line, but in the context of this game, that is very, very important. And Peter Matera's had a good game, just needs to close up. There's the runner, Andy Lovell telling him.
Amazing game. Still heaps of time. Over 14 and a half minutes. Tossed up in the middle. The rucks come hard. Well played by young Jones. Kicks it down towards half forward. Philip Matera goes back. He's got 5. Fuster. Matera. Feisty customer. Fuster got it across to Brown. Walker's kick towards the wing. Troy Cook in space. Takes a very good mark with Jones bearing down. We said it's a hallmark of the Eagles football this season. Fading away late in games. Much because of injury and players missing so much football. Can they hang on here? There goes the kick from Coops, close to the boundary line, out of bounds on the full. That was a poor effort. Eagles free.
And if you're a Docker supporter and you feel you've been a little bit unjust in terms of free kicks inside your 50-metre zone, well, you're quite correct. So far, the Eagles have had 6, the Dockers none.
Off hands, Kemp meeting the sandwich. Clement taken front on, kicks for the boundary line. And it bounces out.
Then some injury news as we take a pause. Mitchell White has a hip and thigh injury and possibly broken ribs from that collision with Troy Cook.
Bad news if that's the case. So a throw in on the wing. A goal the difference. Bandy reaches over the top to Bootsma. Bootsma, the hurried kick down towards half forward. Metropolis, great judgment, peeled off Waterhouse, took the mark on his chest and steadies things down.
Both sides just playing with similar forward lines at the moment. They have 2 players, one player down in the square, another player sits out on the 50-metre zone. Basically, other than that, all players are in between those 2 areas, so a lot of players in the midfield.
Metropolis for distance. Gardner camped in front. Bandy got a fist on it. Fletcher played it well, got it to Jones. Munro held a long time. Kemp smothered by Hazelby. It ricochets out of bounds. That's interesting. Look at those 2 warriors together. Kemp and perhaps Hazelby, the Kemp of the future. They'll play it in similar fashion. So much class, so much time, gliding almost on a football field. This is Fuster. Back to the game. Chips it in short. Kickett's got it. Kick it about 70 metres from goal. Running hard again is Dodd. Dodd 60 metres out. Sends it towards the kickoff line. Waterhouse! Clive Waterhouse ghosting across the front of that pack to take a wonderful mark.
Well, you certainly get the feeling that the Dockers have got this by the scruff of the neck, because they're coming home in a big way.
This to level a score. It's all square.
But tell you what, Clyde, you've only just put that one through too. You didn't miss that one by much. And the momentum is completely with the Fremantle Dockers. And too many of their players at the moment are getting free. You can see Dotty where he's able to be pushed through the lines. And yes, I think the legs of the Eagles are going to catch up with them, because the Fremantle players are just running on. They train exceptionally hard.
Well, it's hard to put value on the pride of players like Jakovic and Kemp and Matera. It will be sorely tested now as the kick comes down towards half forward. Standing his ground is Walker, taken high. He'll get the free kick. James Walker at centre half back. Cook is wide. The kick comes in that direction. He's finding space on this wing as he likes, Troy Cook. Fletcher calling for the ball, but Cook kicks it down towards half forward. Coops got it to the ground. A good result for the Dockers. Diving after it down there was Williams, and he ties it up for the Eagles.
I reckon you're right. Troy Cook probably could have came back inboard to Adrian Fletcher on his own, who could have probably ran it 20 or 30 metres, and the ball could have then been inside the 50.
And so many times today the Dockers have tried to self-destruct, but they're still in it. Coming through is Jones, missed read, paddles it towards the line. Jones has tried very hard. It's out of bounds. It'll be tossed in.
Young Fletcher just certainly needs to close up on Troy Cook, because I think Cook's been the main Dockers player to get him back into this game in this quarter.
Boundary throw in 60 metres out from the Dockers attacking goal. Turnbull reaches over the top. Morrison, who's gone out of it. Fuster has it now. Goes looking for McManus, running down towards the pocket. Now that came off the heel.
Free kick to McManus.
Casey Green, which is terrible luck. It's gone out on the full, but I've never seen one quite like that before. Watch this tackle, and Green somehow gets the back of his boot to it, and it's gone out on the full. Sometimes the rules and the laws are an ass.
You can make a hero of yourself here, Sean McManus.
Any score to lead. Fremantle just one win in the previous 11 Western Derbies. McManus kicks into the man on the mark, if you don't mind. Down towards Cousins. Shipper's got it now, goes looking for Dodd. Dodd under pressure, scrambles a kick in the air. It's about 20 metres out from the Dockers' goal. A hand pass came across from Norwich to Bootsma. Now Coops, can he manufacture something? He hooks. It's close. They're roaring down there. It's a behind. That crowd, which is predominantly Dockers, went up on the kick, and it didn't miss by much.
What you probably didn't see on camera is Stephen Cooks was on his hands and knees with his arms up in the air, looking at the crowd saying, I have just kicked an absolute magnificent goal, but he didn't. No,
got news for you, Stephen. Ball comes in short to Jakovic, the villain. He's played a pretty good game, the villain. Goes in short. Kemp, close to the boundary line. Drives it up towards half forward. Clement works in front of Peter Matera. No mean feat. Peter Matera feeling the effects a little there. Clement beat him across 15 metres. And he's got the ball close to the boundary line with the Dockers in front for the first time today. There goes the kick. Long from Clement towards half forward. Ship. He's been a handy player. Drifts in, takes the mark. So Ship would be about 65 metres out. When I think back, I think the Dockers may have got the opening behind of the match. So it's been a long time since they've had the lead. And now Dodd will kick from about 45 metres out.
Dennis, you said a minute ago the way of Clement being able to work himself in front of Peter Matera. I don't think Ken Judge has been too happy with that, because Matera is now coming off the ground.
Dodd hooks it. It's a behind. So the margin is 2 points.
In the meantime, Michael Gardner sitting down at full forward. I think it could be time to bring him up onto the ball, because I think he's been very good today. He'll just offer that little bit of strength and aggression around it, and perhaps put Turnbull back at full forward.
You've got to find out, I guess, whether he can go again, don't you? Issue him the challenge. He's missed a lot of football. Hasn't played since round 14. Kick it up very high on the outer side. Down goes Fletcher. Gave it back to kick it, but not in time. Couldn't beat the whistle. And a bounce. Just under 10 minutes remaining in this Western Derby. Possibly the best of them. Certainly up there with the first last season. But the Eagles won by less than a goal.
Ben Cousins on the screen there. He's also just been giving a little bit of space to Brad Dodd.
Big leap by Dale Kickett. Dockers gained 10 metres.
And sometimes when you're a class midfield player, that's what you often do. You probably don't pay enough attention to some of the lesser lights on the opposition. And in this case, I just think Dodd's just getting a little bit away from Cousins.
Turnbull, brilliantly done, directs it down to Kemp. Across the body. McManus in the road, though. They can ill afford to give away the next goal, the West Coast Eagles. Otherwise, they will have a juggernaut to get on top of. This place will erupt. Norwich goes looking for Clive. Waterhouse has booted 6, tries to stifle this one. Metropolis hesitated, slapped forward by Prescott. Back comes Clive again, inspired. The ball's gone across the boundary line, and Metropolis has done a hamstring.
Yeah, he's done his hamstring. He can't go. They need to get him off the ground as quickly as possible. And if I was Clive, I would just get on my bike and just start running.
Clive hasn't realised, I don't think.
No.
He should head down towards full forward. Now he does, but McIntosh, with the savvy of a veteran, gets across there and picks him up. Well done by Ashley McIntosh. Boundary throw in. Morrison thumps it down to Cousins, to Kemp. Kemp from half-back, kicking towards half-forward. Philip Matera flattened the umpire. Matera's hurt, but the umpire is hurt even more.
Well, this game has had everything in it today.
They're going to stop the game. The umpire copped the full brunt of Philip Matera charging up on the lead, and he didn't know what hit him. Watch this again, just backing back, nowhere to go for Matera.
And I tell you what, Matera's in some trouble too. So I reckon he's copped one on the jaw.
Remarkable. Clement to Walker. And the umpire's up and blowing. Not so Matera. Here's Clement meantime, kicking down towards half forward. Big mark taken by Michael, and the crowd loved that. Or rather, Coops. So watch the umpire. Kicks inside the 50. Offhands a chance for Reid. Coming through a ship, upended. Hand pass from Cousins across to Morrison. Morrison drives it towards the outer side, close to the boundary line. It goes out.
If you're looking at the game in the context of this quarter, you've got to now go for Fremantle, because at the moment they've been doing all the attacking and the Eagles are really, really struggling. Here's another look at this. Oh, a clash of heads. Not surprising that Philip Matera's come off, but
now umpire Handley's coming across to change
blood
shirts.
Rule.
Blood rule. Not sure it's his or Philip Matera's. So he's wearing number 8 now.
How tough is this umpire? Phil Matera's had to come off. He can't breathe properly. The umpire's still out there.
Makes you reconsider about umpires, doesn't it?
And Peter Matera's on the bench, Den, in the biggest game we've had here for a long time. Peter Matera has to sit it out.
Kemp the high ball. Cousins comes across and takes a brilliant mark. Wonderful stuff by Ben Cousins.
when you look at it, they're your two leading goal kickers for the Eagles in the team today, Peter and Philip Matera, 64 goals.
Kicks towards half forward. Great grab taken out there by the youngster Munro in his first game. Just plucked that one. He's about 85 metres from goal. Sets it up. Kick it. Hurrying back. Gardner flies from behind. Spills wide. Taken by Bootsma. Brilliant smother there. It was Casey Green. It comes to Banfield. And Banfield's kicked a goal.
Casey Green, I think this is your fourth game. And depending on how the result goes, because there's still plenty of time, that could be one of the most important things that you have done out on the football field, because you have just created a goal. We'll just take another quick look of here. There we go. That smother on Bootsma has set up that goal. And you just can't pick it at the moment. This is a real titanic struggle.
No substitute for class. Drew Banfield's got it. That was a fine goal. Cook dragged down, charging through his Norrish. Good hand pass away to Michael. Gets it to Fletcher. Fletcher pops it out wide to accommodate the run of Waterhouse. McIntosh is there with him. Waterhouse worked out of it. Jakovic comes streaming away with a foot. He runs up to half-back. Kicks it towards the wing. Clement gets across and thumps it out of bounds. Still over 7 minutes to go. And the Eagles up by 4 points.
And that kick of Drew Banfield is only their second possession inside the 50 this quarter. Quite an amazing stat, that one.
McManus, Norrish, keeping it in front. Banfield slaps it towards the line. Out it goes. Yes, the West Coast Eagles have absorbed so much pressure in their back half.
This is where you've just got to do the 1%ers. Don't try and do anything fancy in these situations.
Turnbull and Michael. Michael, strength, clean possession, got it away. Sinclair taking a while. Kicks long inside the 50. Jakovic is coming across, smothers the ball, tries to go back and succeeds. Taken by Bootsma. That affected the kick. It's still inside the 50. Oh, well played by Williams. Got it away to Banfield. Banfield drives it around the outer side, getting a fist on it. Clement in front. Norrish taken to the ground. It spills across towards Walker. He was taken high. He'll get the free. Walker plays on. That's rather untidy. Bounced obligingly for Fuster, taking a long time. Went a long way, Fuster. Kicks down towards the 50. Loose at the back. Waterhouse leads back. Another goal for Clive Waterhouse. Gets boot the ball. It's through. The Dockers are back in front. How far did Fuster go on the outer side? He must have run close to 20-25 metres.
Oh, can't say enough about the performances of some of the two leading goal kickers from each side. Philip Matera has been sensational, and Clive Waterhouse, and again just too quick on the ground, and he's beaten two players here, but Ashley McIntosh, and McIntosh is pretty quick. I wouldn't have sort of said Jacko in that department, and across the ground.
Clive Waterhouse has a personal best of 7 goals. It could be a match-winning performance, and Michael has been instrumental as well. Again strong. Kemp worked off the ball by Sinclair. It comes to Cook. They're irresistible. Cook goes long down towards full forward. How will it bounce? It runs on and goes through for a minor score. They lead by 3 points, 14-11 to 14-8.
And they're pretty confident. They're stacking the forward line a little bit. They've got 7 players in their forward line now, the Fremantle Dockers. The Eagles just 5. So Damien Drummond, his match committee, banking on the fact that they're going to win the ball out of the centre and get it down there.
McIntosh straight down the middle. Turnbull comes at it hard, waiting in front. Fletcher dragged off it. Coops has it now. Coops gets away 60 metres from goal, goes in short, very short, bounces for Dodd. Dodd snaps and kicks a goal, the biggest of his career.
Well, put your glasses down. No, there's only 5. There's still 5 minutes to go. But I think in the context, I've said it twice now. I've gone the Eagles one way. Well, now I'm going to the Dockers way, because they've just had too much of the ball in this quarter to think that the Eagles can turn it around. They've really struggled to go into their 50-metre zone, and just sometimes you get that feeling when it starts to swing. And this is the case now. As I said, they're all one-way traffic. Very hard for the Eagles.
Watch Michael again in here. His bullocking work on the ground in particular has been wonderful, although this time it's Turnbull falling to the ground, hand passing towards half forward. Robbed of it was Munro. Trying to crash through down there was Walker. Held to him. 101 plays 92. Another goal, and you figure it will be gone as far as the Eagles are concerned. They must kick the next one. Just over 5 minutes. Still plenty of time, but it's more the way the game is being played. Jones was up defiantly. Knocks it inside the attacking 50 for his team. Walker slips it away, taken by Clement. Norris running hard towards the outer side. Clever kick got him the ball. Clever hand pass got it to Fletcher. Well done to Prescott. Needs another hand pass. Norris running out of space. Well done by the Dockers. Not known for their precision, but that was wonderful. Fletcher combines with McManus. Kicks towards half forward, intended for Kickett. It was knocked away by Green, and it's out of bounds. Well, for so long today they've been ham-fisted, but not that time.
Geez, they were very, very good over the clinches on there, and especially they were backed right onto the boundary line, but they continue to keep offering support, and if you do that, eventually you'll come out in front.
Could have been taken high, Banfield. Nothing doing. Spills wide. In there is Williams. Slips it away. Green comes back to Turnbull. He was standing there. Throws it on the boot and gains about 15 metres. They're under siege.
They're just on the back foot too now. Their players aren't running it. You just sort of mentioned there, you said Ryan Turnbull just standing there, and that's what's happening. The players that are getting the ball, they're standing flat-footed. They're not moving. That's making it too easy for the Fremantle players to pick them off.
Turnbull knocked it down in front. Trapped by Banfield. Back to Turnbull. The hurried kick up towards the wing. Takes a high bounce. McManus getting busy. Coming across the ground, McManus. He ran a fair way as well. Kicks towards territory. Out on the right centre wing. Up comes Waterhouse. Still Waterhouse. Great balance, Waterhouse. Thought about the hand pass. Not so flash. Now he's on his knees, gets to his feet, takes on a tackler, gets the hand pass away, tried to do a little too much, but circumstances were against him. Clive, a valiant attempt to chop off the kick from McIntosh. Eventually it comes to Fletcher. That's Chad Fletcher. Down towards half forward, lumbering up his Gardner, can't control it. And bad luck for the Eagles, it runs out of bounds. It'll be tossed in.
The thing about the Fremantle Dockers too, they're just pushing back in defence, and every time the Eagles go forward, they're struggling to get it in there, but they're then just coming up against a barrage of Fremantle players.
What about Clive just moments ago? They could make a movie. Clive this afternoon, just one game. Here's Kemp away. Kemp running towards goal. 15 metres out. Brown delays it, doesn't come to him. Glass open goal, kicks it. The Eagles are back.
Dean Kemp, he's just crept up. I've actually said about Jason Norris that I thought he has absolutely held Dean Kemp very well today, and I've just looked over. Dean Kemp has had 21 possessions. It's amazing a player can still sometimes they get 21 possessions, and yet you think they've had a quiet day. And just the old experience there. Now you're in two minds there. He's done the safe thing here. He's made sure that this is going to go through. Didn't want to put the pressure on himself to kick the goal. And Glass be happy with that.
Just over 3 minutes to go then, and the Eagles creep back into this one. Turnbull to Chambers to Fletcher. They trail by 3 points. Fletcher kicks inside the 50. Brown able to knock it away from Gardner. Taken by Clement. Scrambles it towards the boundary line and gets it out.
Dan, this is unbelievable. Everybody on the bench is injured now. The Eagles have got Haynes there with a shoulder, Metropolis, White and Phil Matera. And over the other side, Pavlich, Modra. Hazelby's got a back injury and Black.
Some people during the week saying this game meant nothing. Well, try telling that to the players right now. This is full-blooded, trying to get through Embley. Michael slips the hand pass away, taken by Norris, deep in trouble. Gets it to Clement. Clement under pressure. High ball back towards the wing. They come from all directions. Morrison got a fist on it. Knocked it down in front. Chambers back towards the middle. Casey Green, can he control it? The young man. Brilliantly done. Spins out of trouble. He's been very effective. Got it to Chambers. Kicks inside the 50 and Glass has taken the mark. About 35 metres out. Directly in front.
I'm just thinking, if he kicks this, Dennis, I might have to change my mind again.
Don't doubt yourself.
This game he's certainly had it all. If you're a football spectator and just a fan of the game, it's really had it all today. It didn't start off in the best fashion, but it's well worth seeing it.
Drafted as a defender, Darren Glass has kicked a goal, or has he? No, he's missed. He's missed. Gee whiz, it didn't miss by much. It wobbled off the boot. It was less than convincing. And the margin is 2 points. Just over 2 minutes to go. Clement taking plenty of time. This kick very important. Needs to find a target. He drives it long towards the outer side. Plenty of Eagles out there. Fuster the high flyer though. Falls to Fletcher. Away to Norris. Norris kicks it down towards half forward. Tracking across there is Sinclair. With him is Morrison. Morrison can't keep it in. Clock stops at 2:03. Fremantle by 2 points. Tossed in. Turnbull and Michael. Knocked down in front. Fletcher goes after it. With him Jones. Close to the line. McManus can't keep it in. Another throw in. In fact, it's a free kick to McManus. A late whistle pushing the back. Fuster. Brendan Fuster, left half back. His side on top by 2 points, and the clock down to 1:30, and that's a terrible kick. He's given it away. He's holding his head. He shouldn't do that. He should get back. Munro's got the ball, kicks inside the 50. Fuster goes back, a chance to make amends. It's down in front. Kemp is taken down. Fuster dives on top of the pile. Ball up. A bounce. The clock continues to run.
And what will be going through their heads is how long have we got to go?
Here's the bounce on the 50 then. Fuster comes hard, knocks it down. Down went Walker. Fuster's hand pass long towards the boundary line. And/or Dodd. Dodd tries to get it out on the bounce. Morrison, other ideas, looking to keep it in. Taken by Coops, a one-handed hand pass. And that's, well, it's been called out of bounds. Out of bounds. The boundary umpire, meters behind, will toss it in now. We're down to 52 seconds. Turnbull goes up. Some anticlimactic things happening out there. Dodd grabs it, does it again, kicks for the boundary line. This time it's out of bounds on the full.
Just 42 seconds remaining. The Eagles have to move the ball very quickly.
Kick from Williams, going for distance, up towards the wing. Waterhouse in that pack, that says something. McIntosh, brought up by Waterhouse, gets the hand pass away. This is Jones. Jones kicks down towards his attacking 50. At the back is Brown. Peter Matera deep in the pocket, snaps it back. Here's a chance. Glass couldn't get there. Did he touch it? He may have touched it. It hit the post in any case. A point the difference.
Well, I think it's a Dockers win. I think that was the last chance for the Eagles to get the goal they needed. Just didn't quite carry to Andrew Embley.
Should go short to Walker.
And just hold it up.
Yes.
Run the clock down. That's all they need to do. Have a look at this.
I don't think he did touch it. It simply hit the post. 101 to 100.
Now, you can't run the clock down from here, James Clement. You've got to get into play.
He's going for distance. The last 15 seconds of the game. Big pack. Green launched himself. It'll be a ball up.
Be a Dockers win.
Jones trying to get through. McIntosh, or rather McManus, claimed him. Wait for the siren, and the Dockers will win a remarkable Western Derby. How about that? Fremantle 15-11 have beaten West Coast 15-10. They trailed by 32 points at half-time. And the pressure on Damien Drum is released. Home game for the Fremantle Dockers. Glenn Jakovic so good for so long today. Clive Waterhouse, a hero with 7 goals. Philip Matera almost won it off his boot for the West Coast Eagles with 5. And now the celebrations erupt. Tony Modra lost just before half-time. Broad smiles all around. Fremantle have won the Battle of the West. 15-11 to 15-10, the 12th Western Derby, their second victory at Subiaco Oval.